Queen Amidala of Naboo stands to address the Senate, and she declares that her homeworld has been invaded by the Trade Federation's droid army. The Federation and the Senate of Malastare recommended a commission to investigate the validity of these claims, and the secret Sith Lord Senator Palpatine used his manipulation skills, convincing the Queen that Chancellor Valorum was part of the Trade Federation and would easily buckle. Valorum acted exactly like Palpatine had predicted, folding to the Federation. This angered Amidala, as she wanted action from the Senate to protect Naboo, and she called for a vote of no confidence against Valorum. After the session, Queen Amidala and the Gungan Jar Jar Binks are interrupted by the presence of Palpatine. Alongside Bail Antilles of Alderaan and Ainlee Teem of Malastare, Palpatine had been nominated to succeed Valorum as Supreme Chancellor. Hearing the news, he remarked that it was a surprise to be sure, but a welcome one. However, what if it wasn't a surprise to be sure, but a welcome one? What would happen to Valorum? Would this delay Palpatine's Sith plans? As you are about to discover, Palpatine's words will make a massive difference to events. Watching out of the window at the skyline of Coruscant, Queen Amidala and Jar Jar Binks hear the voice of Captain Panaka. Turning to meet the head of security for the Royal House of Naboo, they also see the disappointed Palpatine with two of Amidala's handmaidens. The Senator of Naboo had not been nominated to succeed Chancellor Valorum, and he would have to wait his turn. Whilst Queen Amidala returned to Naboo with Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan, Palpatine returned to the penthouse suite of his master Darth Plagueis. The Sith Lord is displeased with his apprentice, and they are forced to delay their plans. Tasking Maul to eliminate the two Jedi and Amidala, Plagueis sought to resolve a disturbance in the Force he had recently felt. Following Amidala to the planet of Naboo, Plagueis was not in danger from Sidious, as his apprentice still needed him to become the Supreme Chancellor, and he waited for the inevitable battle. Watching from afar, Plagueis watched as the Trade Federation had the upper hand, before unexpectedly, all of the droids mysteriously faltered. In the skies, the droid control ship had been destroyed by young Anakin Skywalker, and Plagueis knew that this was his disturbance in the Force. His apprentice must have sensed it too, and Plagueis leapt into his ship to pursue Anakin. Stopping in a hangar, Plagueis convinces Anakin to go back to his home planet of Tatooine and visit his mother, something that the Jedi had forbidden him from doing so far. Back on Coruscant, the Jedi Council are doubly concerned. Not only had the death of Qui-Gon proven that the Sith had returned, but Anakin Skywalker had vanished from their grasp. Joining Obi-Wan, Anakin, Senator Palpatine, and the newly elected Supreme Chancellor Bail Antilles, the Jedi cannot find any trace of Anakin on Naboo, and Obi-Wan cannot fulfill the last promise to Qui-Gon. After the invasion of Naboo, the disappearance of Plagueis is largely forgotten, except for Senator Palpatine. The Sith apprentice was furious at letting his chance of becoming the Master slip from his grasp, but with the fallen Jedi Master Count Dooku by his side, his opportunity would soon arrive. Preparing to succeed Chancellor Antilles, Palpatine and Dooku create the clone army. But the new Chancellor does not fold like Valorum, and even assassination attempts on Queen Amidala, who still remained as Queen, given Palpatine was the Senator of Naboo, failed to dislodge Antilles. Palpatine and Dooku need to take a different approach, and decide to instigate a war on their own. Targeting the Jedi home planet of Coruscant, Chancellor Antilles had no choice but to respond. With the droid army appearing to still be their enemy, the new clones thrust upon the Republic as seen as allies. The Jedi Council see the clones as allies as well, and rush to join their raid. They successfully repel the attack, but Palpatine and Dooku had gotten what they wanted, as the clones had integrated themselves into the Republic as a grand army. After finding out that the clone army was being manufactured on Kamino, they dispatch Obi-Wan to find more about this mysterious army. The Jedi traversed the difficult conditions to land on one of the planet's dome structures, but he soon found that he was not alone. Obi-Wan comes face to face with a much older and darker Anakin Skywalker. The apprentice of Plagueis surged towards Obi-Wan, and the Jedi seamlessly dodged the attacks. Leading the battle to the outside, Obi-Wan was pushed into the water, but recovered to fly away. Alerting Mace Windu and Yoda of the threat, Obi-Wan returns to Coruscant devoid of information. The council meet again, and conclude that Anakin must be the apprentice of Dooku. This time, the council send more Jedi with their New Republic gunships, surrounding the planet with their forces, They are met by the Separatist Alliance. The Battle of Kamino had begun. The hangar doors to Obi-Wan's flagship opened, and a squadron of Republic forces attacked the ship of General Grievous. Moving towards the ship's mega ion cannons, the ships were suddenly suspended in a shockwave of energy. Obi-Wan leapt out of his own ship and dropped a considerable height to the surface below. Ordering another squadron to move in before the ion cannon could recharge, Obi-Wan saw Yoda battling Count Dooku and rushed in to help the Grand Master. Obi-Wan force-pushed a wave of B-1 battle droids and took on the B-2 battle droids and Magna Guards. Soon he is joined by Master Windu, but before they could assist Yoda, a battalion of Aqua droids rose from the waters below. The Republic clone troopers used the predictable movement of the droids to their advantage and deploy their snipers to disable them. Free of the distraction of the droids, Master Windu and Obi-Wan wear out the aging defences of Dooku as Yoda pointed his lightsaber at his old fallen Padawan. But as they were about to execute the Sith Lord, they were all sent flying backwards into the sea. Climbing back up the stilts of the platform, the Jedi are suddenly interrupted by a transmission from Admiral Yularen, reporting the demise of Chancellor Antilles and his successor named to be Senator Palpatine. The Jedi were too preoccupied to go back to Coruscant, and ascending to the battle with Dooku, they see General Grievous beside him, but nothing to indicate what had caused them all to be pushed into the sea. With Grievous at his side, Dooku surged towards Obi-Wan and grabbed him by the throat with the Force, before projecting his body to some cargo boxes and rendering him useless. Clone medics take him back to his flagship, and more Jedi arrive from Republic gunships. Dooku and Grievous back off to assess these threats, but the Jedi surround them. Starting a ferocious frenzy of attacks, the Jedi defeat Dooku again, but Grievous escaped to the main facility. Shaak Ti runs after the cyborg, and after a short moment, she is pushed back with Grievous towards the sea. Looking for its source, the new Supreme Chancellor Palpatine emerged and lifted Dooku into the air, then executed him with a quick slash of his blade. In front of the faces of the Jedi, Palpatine executed Order 66, as his new powers had allowed him to do, and the clones fired. The Jedi are taken completely by surprise and cannot respond. The Jedi Masters and Council members quickly fall, and Sidious's maniacal cackles can be heard through the vicious storms of Kamino. Only Yoda, who had fallen into the water, had survived, and he had no alternative but to try and escape. Finding a Kamino submarine, Yoda was soon under attack from the awoken Aquadroids, and he was forced to use the inbuilt escape pod to make a dramatic exit, and into exile. Back on the facility's platform, Sidious ordered the clones to search for any remaining Jedi, and assist the clones on Coruscant in purging the Jedi Temple. Lifting the remains of Grievous with the Force, the cyborg, along with many other droids, are thrown to the side, as Sidious deactivates the droid army. Leaving the corpse of Dooku to the elements, he is about to enter his personal ship, when another ship lands close by. Sidious orders his remaining clone troopers to fire at will, but their blaster bolts ricochet off the hull of the ship. Intensifying their firepower, the necks of the clones suddenly all snap at once. Sidious's eyes narrow, as out of the ship firstly stepped out Anakin Skywalker, followed by Darth Plagueis. All the combatants circle each other with their blades in hand, and the heavy raindrops hissed as they made contact. Sidious is the first to attack, and lunge towards Anakin, assuming he was the weaker of the pair. But this was not the Anakin that the Jedi had brought back from Tatooine, and the Sith Lord was having to work to get the upper hand. Just as he thought he had found a slip in Anakin's defences, Plagueis intervened, and entered into a violent force battle with his former apprentice. The waves beneath them rose to the top, and Anakin recovered from his duel and battled through the waves to kill Sidious. Bowing to Plagueis, the first part of their operation had been a success. Flying back to Coruscant and the Senate building, the senators were oblivious that Palpatine's assassins were among them, as they voted yet another Supreme Chancellor. Having seen the Republic leaders falter, Newt Gunray is chosen to be the new Supreme Chancellor, someone the Sith could easily control and manipulate from distance. From another Senate pod, the new Senator of Naboo, Padme Amidala, looked in disarray, alongside Senator Organa of Alderaan. The Jedi were now a note in history, and what they had known as the Republic had fallen. For the Light, there was no hope. That is it for What If It Wasn't a Surprise, to be sure, but a welcome one. If you enjoyed this, please like this video, turn on your notification bell, and subscribe for more what ifs. And as always, leave a comment on what if you'd like to see next, and how I can improve my videos. Thank you all very much for watching, and see you next time.